Barry, floor is yours.
Okay, 1 second for my sync point. Done. Yeah, I got a few questions still on the water system, and going back in time is not going to help. A lot of money was hundreds of thousands of dollars are gone, and no explanation on why, for approximately a total period of 3 to 4 years, no work was done on it. According to Jerry, the preliminary assessment was purchased in 2011, and water hauling was going down at $72,000 a year because of a system that wasn't working right. And it was 2 years before you even started work on it after you bought the preliminary assessment. And then, this is just a review, I want to move on. And then after, according to Jerry Waterman, some work was done in 2013. And then, as far as I know, or you can correct me, pretty much nothing was done until 2017. So we're talking $72,000 a year all those years, no explanation on why nothing was done. And we kept on paying the inflated water bill, $350, no, $295 a quarter. So that's established, and this caused the water bill increase to $295. And now I'd like to move forward on other questions I have. And so it's important to note out that preliminary assessment costs 20 grand, and since it really wasn't ever implemented, wasn't used, they had to do a new one, okay? 20 grand for the one in 2011, the one in 2017, they charged 132,000, only 600%. No one said anything about that, but this is local politics. And contractors like Elliott and Aldridge are high-pressured salesmen, and Steve don't know how to deal with that. That's a fact. No reasonably experienced businessman would ever pay 600% just a few years for the same thing. And that is going on the backs of the water users. I just want to make that clear. So now we move on. Also, you know who John Muse is, right? Nobody knows him?
Who?
John Muse. He's the USDA Director of New England, and I was communicating with him, and I was communicating with him because I couldn't communicate with Misty because she was age discrimination or something now. I called her and she kept saying, here's my email me, and she'd give me mistakes on the email. And then she's making, oh, you don't know how to do an email? I've been doing IT since 1996. I write computer code, and I'm going to screw an email up? Anyway, I said, that's no problem. I went to her boss. He is her boss, and he was very, he was very concerned on us being informed in transparency of this thing. So I asked him, I'm in touch with him, and I asked him about Steve's claim that it was you were just in attendance of their meeting. He says it was a select board meeting that they came, you were here. So you have any response to that? He said it was the select board meeting. It wasn't the USDA meeting. They attended the meeting for all the document signing and money. And he knows it, and he is also the signee on your documents, if you look on the grant documents, John Muse. So he said that, so I don't know what to tell you. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah.
What?
It was an engineering meeting. We attended. The USDA.
Okay, I'm not going to go there. You know what I mean? We've already done
Let
that.
it go, Steve.
Okay. Continue, Barry.
Okay. That whole thing stinks. I gotta tell you. And I don't believe a word, and I know what's going on here, but I don't wanna fight. What I wanna do now is move on to the billing. I am assuming the role of the water committee. It is my right. They were useless, and that was confirmed by Charquette, who was very frustrated. They didn't do anything. They didn't know how to do anything. They didn't know how to get anything done. They did. I don't think they. A couple of things were accomplished when Chris was there. He was good. He was good. But he was frustrated. He quit. He didn't like it because he wasn't getting anywhere with them either. So okay. So I asked about the billing. I want to know all the details of the billing. John Muse says we have the right to know, and you should know every detail of the billing, and that's what I want to do now. And I do appreciate you gave me the yearbook with those numbers in there when I asked you about the billing, how the billing is going to happen. That was fine and well, and it was a good start, but I need everything. I want to know about loans. I want to know every detail of the billing. I have the right. The people need to know. Too much has been not a lack of transparency on this water thing for years and years, and like I said, can't do anything about $300,000 or $400,000 down the drain with no explanation, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse. And by the way, I think that statement about beating a dead horse was you just trying to avoid accountability. That's what I think.
That was your request to put that on the agenda.
Huh?
You're the one that wanted.
Oh, I know, I'm saying, but he said, last time you're beating a dead horse, move on. No. I mean, I have the right to speak here, and this is a concern of a lot of people in this town, 100 people that have been very frustrated and paid a lot of extra money in the last few years. And now, we got Steve, who has made the decision, or all three of you, I'm not sure. We're gonna wait 2 years before the billing is even becoming active. And correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have a date for the 2 years. It's just approximately 2 years, and maybe go to 3, because we have a history here of neglecting to take care of water problems. And so I need to know, you said, you said, we're going to wait 2 years because it's for the best. For the best for who? You also said it was the recommendation of the engineers. What was that recommendation based on? Do you have any paperwork that shows what the recommendation was?
Actually, Mike could probably best answer that question because he went to a class on that a year or so ago. Being the water operator, he could answer that question.
Well, I mean, I want to see a document. He said the engineer. He said the engineers recommended it.
Do you remember why we said we were waiting? I want you to answer my question. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you said you needed to calculate numbers.
Did you, let me interject this. Do you remember saying that we needed to acquire data
Yeah.
to make an informed decision relative to water rates? Do you remember that?
2 years. I remember.
Now, how do you collect data without going a period of time?
Well, Denise is on the record for saying her opinion was a year would just be fine. You did say that at a meeting. I have it on tape. So you're stretching it out as long as possible. Now, I think that pretty much you are solely responsible for all those delays on not getting anything done on the water bill. And by the way, here's my opinion on that. It was a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. The reason it wasn't done, in my opinion, and I'm positive of this, people were making money, lots of money, so they didn't want to stop the water hauling. When that kind of money's going down, forget about it. There's always a rats among there. That money was going to the wrong place, and the work wasn't getting done. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have opinion, and that's it. That kind of money, that's why the delays were happening. And even you were very reluctant to stop the water hauling. I remember that. I remember you saying exactly, it'll cost you $50,000 for a test if we do it. But instead, we paid $400,000 in fees, in hauling water. And that's one on tape too. That one I remember, it's stuck in my head, you know? But I have that, I could dig it up in minutes, but like I said, I don't wanna go there. So what I wanna do is I want specific details, every detail on how this thing is gonna be calculated, all the paperwork. Now, Denise, about those loans, I asked you about loans and really didn't get the answers. So what is the, we got a deficit of 285,000, that was our share of the 45% of the grant we have to pay? Right, okay. So how's that gonna be paid? What's the terms? You got anything on that?
Yeah.
What is it? Can you remember?
We pay the USDA twice a year. The guy John didn't tell you the specifics of that at USDA when you talked to him?
No, I want it from you. You know, so what is the terms? How long?
We pay $5,157 twice a year.
And it's gonna be how long?
I'm not sure, I have to look up the document.
40 years? Okay, so my thing is, you're collecting, I need to know right now, he said the data, but I think it's something else. I think it's just the money once again, you know, that you're collecting money and you want to keep, I don't know what you're doing with the money. My question is, the amount of money you are collecting, is it much more, I want to know how it weighs up against what you're spending for expenses. You know, if you're you know, making $25,000 a year, I think that could, you know, it should go back to the water users who have to pay that inflated water bill because of neglect of fixing the problem. You know, I mean, not a word, not one word in all the years I've been here has there been any sympathy for the water users, the elderly ones that are on Social Security, that are paying $150 more each quarter approximately because of the lack of the neglect of fixing the problem. And now we got 2 years to wait, and you know, you're still collecting. So if, you know, reasonably, if you were for the people, which you're not, there's never been a mention ever about the hardship of the elderly that are on fixed income. I'm on a fixed income, and so I love paying an extra $150, knowing that there's rats rolling around that ate half the money. So I mean, it disturbs me. So that is what I want to do. I want to know everything about the building, just because I want to know and I want the people to know. So I need a breakdown. I would like to know exactly how you collect the money. What you collect the money. You gave me those numbers. I saw totals, but I want to see how it weighs up. I want all the. Oh yeah, one more thing. Jerry said at another meeting. He said, we have people working on that. Who are these people?
Working on what?
The billing. Formulating the billing.
Mike is taking data, Denise is collecting the data, she's getting the stuff together. Sooner or later, we're gonna have enough data to sit down and look at what we need to do.
Okay, that's it. That's the people. I wanted to know who's doing it. You know what I mean? I just would be disturbed if you were paying $85,000 for a few people to do a simple accounting job. You know, but. So can you help me out on that, Denise? Can you help me understand, you know, some journals and some entries so I can...
I'd like to know what you're asking for.
Okay, you showed me those...
Yeah, that tells you on, that
yeah,
showed all the expenses for last year.
Yeah, that's a yearly ledger entry, you know what I mean? It doesn't, I need journals, what you're spending the money on.
Well, that tells you, right in that book, it tells you specifically, like, how much electricity you spent.
Journals. I like to see journals.
Like what?
Like the billing, you know, like there's people send you to pay bills, stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all in there, like
no,
all...
it's not in there. No, those are not, wait a minute. Excuse me, Denise, let me remind you something, just so we won't get in trouble here. I have formal accounting. I went to college for accounting for 1 year in Boston at a very fine accounting school. I never intended to be an accountant, never. But came down to the time Jane needed an operation. I was in the music business, making great money. I couldn't handle $20,000, $30,000. I got a job. What did I do? I was an auditor for a a motel chain. So, you know, what I'm saying is, I understand accounting. You know, I mean, I'm no genius. I did the books every night for 2-3 years, 100 rooms. You know, I had to, it was a lot of work and very, very hard, you know? And, so, you know, I like to see the journals. I'll pick out some of the stuff, those things, and you give me slowly, so we won't put a lot of burden. I just wanna watch it. I wanna watch it, I wanna understand exactly what's going on. That's all. I mean, I have the right, you know, I've been working on this water thing for a long time. So that's what I wanna do, if it's okay with you.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna have you, I think it's unrealistic to have you watch me enter payments.
I never said that. I said, just, you know,
Oh, I thought you said you wanted to watch the journal entries and how
No,
it
yeah,
was.
metaphorically watch, you know what I mean?
Oh.
You know, I'm not gonna stand over your shoulder. I mean, I respect your time, and even though when I do documents, you only spend a minimum of the time, I make sure of that. You know what I mean? I'm not out to give anyone a hard time. I wanna be able to, understand this and tell the people what's gonna happen. And, I
Yeah,
need.
just tell me what you want and I'll get
Okay,
it for you.
well, I want a date, Steve, when this is gonna end. Give me a date.
Can't,
Why?
we're collecting data.
You said 2 years.
1 year is 4 readings. Can you make an informed decision on 4 readings?
According to Denise, she thinks she can.
No, I said you could start the process.
2 years
No,
will give
that
you
is what you
8
said, but I don't wanna
readings.
argue.
8
I
re-
agree, a year would have been
Excuse
more
me.
than enough.
When you're talking,
Let him answer your question. That's the only way you'll ever hear what you're after.
Well, you should be here for some of the other meetings when they shut me off you know, so it happens. This is a meeting, an open meeting, sometimes it gets a little heated. I'm not polite because when people are not polite to me, so you know, so what were you saying? I think, you know, 2 years is unreasonable, and if you're gonna make us wait 2 years, you should at least give us a date. It will be done in June of 2020, or something like that. Why
What?
can't you give that? Because you have been delayed on everything. Years have gone by without any work done on the water system, when it's a crucial thing, a water system.
Do you
No,
want
let's
to
build
tell
this-
them where we're at as far as the data and who we've talked to? and
I'm looking
what
for
our
the
timeline
date.
is?
You can't give me a date, right? It's gonna be 2 years, and you can't come up with a date that the people can depend on that's gonna happen. That's what I want. Why can't you give us a date? Okay, you got your 2 years. What is the date in 2 years? You already explained you need four readings a year, that's 8 readings, 2 years, and then what? I think there should be a date where we know where it's gonna happen. You can't give us that?
No.
Accountable at all times.
We're being
You're a
accountable.
public servant. Your job is to be accountable to us at all times. I'm asking you a question.
I am responsible to the people of this town.
Then when? We need a date. You said 2 years.
When the data has been.
No, you said 2 years, you need 4 readings a year. That's 2 years. When?
When the data has all been gathered, and.
We can do this,
Actually,
we can do this
Jerry-
another way.
Jerry,
See,
We can do this another way.
You can't.
Yeah, let it go. Just
you-
let it
Right,
go.
you gotta stop. You can't talk because whenever you say anything, you immediately interrupt. When you're speaking, do you hear any of us?
Well, we went over that. Rick used to say, adjourn the meeting, stop listening to him. So, yeah, oh, you didn't say that, sure, no. That little microphone
Just-
here.
just
picks up-
continue,
You can
Barry.
hear you breathing.
Discontinue.
I want a date,
You're not getting one.
okay? I'm filing a complaint.
Then do it.
I will.
Do
I
it.
will. We need a date.
Do it. We need to bring closure to this. And
Then-
obviously, it's not gonna happen with you.
There won't be closure until there's transparency. That's the problem.
Everything's transparent.
Nothing.
100%.
Okay. So.
Have you ever been denied
say,
anything?
Absolutely.
You've been denied a lot of things.
No, it's been
Anything you've asked
twisted and
for,
distorted.
you've gotten.
I have not. So you say.
Actually, you're only one person on the select board. Any of these guys can answer. It doesn't have to be specifically you, Steve.
Before you do that.
Okay, I'll have the complaint in tomorrow morning. I'll come back
Please,
to-
please.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I don't want to come an extra time, but we need to know when that is gonna be done.
We need to get a third party in here and bring closure to it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can
What
present
third
your
party?
case, we can present our case, it can be mediated, and it can be done with.
It ain't gonna be done with until I get transparency,
The facts are out there.
huh?
The facts are there.
They're not there. I'm asking you when you're gonna finish it. You're not giving me that. You're not being accountable. A project like this needs a finishing date. We wanna know the finishing date. You can't do that, okay?
I can't.
Then you're not being accountable.
Did you drop that date?
We don't have the data.
Make a date.
No.
You're taking 2 years for the
Did
date.
Newport City come in?
I'm not
and
asking you to
adjust
do it
your
wrong.
date?
In 2 years,
Doesn't make
what
sense.
date
No, it
will
can't.
the building start?
You can't dig it all
You
that.
get your data, and then you
You already said that.
Well,
I'm
Barry
saying,
already
it's,
said
you
you're
need,
very
you said you needed
frustrated, so-
8.
Can't
Can't.
answer.
Oh, yeah, shut me up, Rick.
We're not trying to shut you
No,
down.
I'm not trying to set you up. Keep talking.
Seems like it appears that your job now is to shut me up. It's happened one too many times.
Really?
That's all right. No, you've already explained yourself twice. You need 8 terms, or whatever, 8 quarters, and that will be determined. And now I say when, and you say, we're not until the data. You just said you need 8, you're getting 8, you got 2 years. We want a date when the billing, when be enacted. You have to be accountable on that, and I'm gonna bring a issue to it.